my name is Valentina Salpietro. I've recently moved from Brampton, Ontario to Edmonton, Alberta, and I'm going to break down my experience for you. So a few reasons why. First of all, Brampton got extremely congested, very, very busy. I grew up there my whole entire life. I'm only 20 years old, so that extent of my life I lived in Brampton, and honestly it got extremely busy. Real estate became very expensive, so even thinking about buying our first property, because I'm with my boyfriend, we moved together, was out of the question. You needed to have at least $200,000 to $300,000 down on a property to be able to purchase anything as a first-time home buyer back in Brampton. So it was totally out of the question, and we moved to Edmonton because we found it was more affordable. Price difference in Edmonton versus Brampton, completely different. Like over here, we were able to purchase a semi, 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom for $140,000 versus back in Brampton, that would be over $1 million. Brampton was extremely busy, especially during like driving hours, like any time of the day. Whenever you would drive anywhere, you were bumper to bumper with people in front of you, behind you, beside you. Absolutely insane traffic, no matter the time of day. Over here in Edmonton, absolutely insane difference. Being able to travel across the city, because I live in Edmonton, so to travel to St. Albert, it's about 25-30 minutes, whereas in Brampton, to get to Woodbridge or Mississauga, which should be a 25-minute drive, would take us over an hour. Our time frame for the entire process was just under 6 months. We contacted our realtor in November. We were moved out here in April, very beginning of April. We actually closed on our house within a couple of weeks of seeing it as well. So from the beginning of February, we purchased February 11th and we closed February 29th. When we first got in contact with our realtor, we went over kind of the basics, what we're looking for, price range, and from there she set us up with an email base where we were able to see certain properties and like them or dislike them based on our preferences. After that, we scheduled our flight and stay out in Edmonton for 4 days. So we left February 7th and we stayed till the 11th. And then from there, we came back home. We were in contact with our realtor, making sure everything was going smoothly, like the inspection, the offer, all of that. And we were able to close right away on the 29th of February. Working with one realtor is definitely the easiest way to go about anything, especially when you're moving from out of province, because there's a lot of different things that come into the entire process. It becomes very, very stressful. So I think being able to work it down to one person that you're working with, they know exactly what you want, what you're looking for. They have a good relationship with you. You've built that connection with them. You can trust them. It's definitely much easier and less stressful on you for sure. Our very first expense was the trip out to Edmonton. So we booked our 4-night stay in a hotel and our 2 flights for both of us, all under $800. We did that through Expedia, so we got a really good deal, especially for the time of year that we were looking to go and fly out. When we did get to Edmonton and kind of our traveling, we did use a lot of Uber, so it cost anywhere from $20 to $35 per Uber ride. Had 2-3 meals maybe a day. We had free breakfast at the hotel, so that was a bonus. We didn't have to pay for that, so that was one less expense to pay for. We did Uber Eats some meals to our hotel. I think it was once or twice, so anywhere from like $30 to $40 you can expect. And then we did do some eating out just to experience the city. We went downtown. Anywhere from $25 to $30 you can expect from that. Total expenses, I'd say we spent between the two of us $1,000 to $1,200. The driving experience from Brampton to Edmonton was definitely a special one. I for sure would do it again. It was beautiful. Seeing all of the scenery. It was a long drive, across the country, but definitely very beautiful. It was a 40-hour drive. We did do 4 days of driving, and each night we did make it to our goal destination by 7 p.m. So we were able to stop, rest for the night, and then start back up the next morning. By 6 a.m., 6:30, we were back on the road, and we did our 12 hours of driving the next 2 days. We took 4 of us out on this trip. It was me, Jacob, his mom, and my father that came out with us. We did rent a U-Haul for $3,400. So we put all of our stuff in the back of the truck, made sure it was secure. It was the easiest and most less expensive way to get our items from one place to the other, especially being a long 400 kilometers. So definitely the most less expensive way to transport items. We did look at moving companies and pods, and they were way over budget, like over $6,000 to $7,000. So definitely a U-Haul was our best decision, cheapest decision, and easiest decision. At least we knew exactly where our items were and how they were being taken care of on the way there. Our very first destination, we left exactly from Midland, got to Sault Ste. Marie. That was about 5 to 6 hours of driving. Got there by 7 p.m. From Sault Ste. Marie, we got to Dryden the next day by 7 p.m. We left at 6:30, so it was about 12 hours, 11 hours of driving to get there. Then from Dryden, we got to Saskatoon, and that was another 13 to 15 hours. And then from Saskatoon, we got all the way to Edmonton, and that was about 5.5 hours. 3 tips that I would suggest you keep in mind if you're moving from Ontario to Alberta is to make sure that you plan. Make sure you plan your traveling, make sure that you plan destinations. It makes it so much easier on the drive, especially because it is a very long drive and you're going through so many places. And when you are driving, you're going through places where you're not able to stop. You're in the middle of nowhere, so you want to make sure that you're always safe. So planning your drive is definitely number 1. Number 2, honestly, take it with excitement. Do it with excitement. You're making a change in your life and it's for the best. You wouldn't be doing it if you didn't think it would change your life for the better. So always keep that in mind. Stay positive, even when it gets a little bit difficult or you're stressed, stay positive. It's always easier to go about it that way. Tip number 3, I would say, if you're looking for something specific and you can't quite find it when you do get here, more specifically within real estate, keep an open mind. It always helps because you never know what you're going to end up with. You may find something that's completely different, something that you wouldn't have even thought of, and fall in love with it even more, because that's what happened with us. And we absolutely love where we live now, and it was the best decision for us to keep an open mind and just look at everything possible. Your realtor is going to be a big part of your life, especially if you're making a big change like this. So communication is key, making sure you're staying in touch and everybody's up to date on basically what you're looking for. If there's any changes in what you're looking for, any delays in time, anything at all, make sure that you have communication. Definitely connect yourself with an agent that you believe you will trust. Somebody who has experience. Definitely the biggest thing is making sure that you are in contact with a realtor, because it can become very, very stressful, especially if you're doing it on your own. So making sure that you're in contact with a realtor, somebody that you're going to be able to trust, is definitely the most important. We asked our realtor many times what she would recommend the best areas to be in Edmonton, just because we were coming from Brampton, Ontario, and we wanted to be in the safest area that we could, especially for our price range. So making sure that our realtor was able to let us know the certain areas, because they live there, they know the area better than we would ever, because we're coming from a different province, was definitely very helpful and made it successful for us to find a very safe home in a safe area. A couple other tips to keep in mind when working with your realtors: they can definitely connect you with long-haul transportation companies. So if you don't feel comfortable driving a U-Haul, putting your personal items in yourself and unloading yourself, you can definitely get in contact with long-haul transportation companies through your realtor. They can also connect you with referral partners, such as insurance companies, to insure both your vehicles and your home. They can get you in contact with lawyers so that you get through all of the paperwork and making sure everything's finalized. And they can also get you in contact with property inspectors, so that if you have a condition of inspecting your home before purchasing or putting an offer down or making sure that it all goes through. They can also get you information on schools, like the boundaries you need to be in for specific schooling for your children if you've got children. Also, something that worked for me personally was, because I had a great relationship with my realtor, I was able to ask her to connect me with people that she knows, because realtors know lots of people, especially when they're working in a smaller city. They know everybody. So getting in contact with people for jobs, anything that you're looking for, is definitely ideal when you have a realtor, so they can connect you. One last thing to keep in mind: if you are planning on moving from Ontario to Alberta, do it. Because if you have that success in mind and you have a goal in mind that you want to achieve, you can't achieve anything without taking a risk. And it's definitely something that I can take on in my life and be proud of myself for, because I made the change at a young age. You can do it at any age that you are, doesn't matter how old you are. You do it, you're going to gain so much happiness and so much excitement from it. So do it and have fun.